Hi, my name is Gabby Lesser, and today we'll be talking about sexual orientation and its effects on classroom experience and academic achievement in K through 12 students. So we're going to start the lesson off with some important terms that will be brought up throughout the presentation. So obviously there are many more than what you are going to be learning about right now, but these are what will be referred to the most throughout the lessons. So we're going to start off with sex. Sex is what you are assigned at birth, and this is based on your genitals. Sex is commonly misused and mixed up with gender, or gender identity is also what it will be referred to through the lecture. And this is a social role that you feel to be. So somebody can be born a male, and that is their sex, but they prefer to be called female because that is a social role. That's the gender they feel they are. The next term is sexual identity. This is an individual's sense of self as a sexual being, including gender identity, gender role, sexual orientation, and sexual self-concept. The next one, sexual orientation. This is the emotional, sexual, and romantic attraction to other persons. So this can be a girl is attracted to boys, or a girl is attracted to girls, or a boy is attracted to girls, or a boy is attracted to boys. There's multiple ones that you can pair together that we will be looking at in the next slide. The next is sexual behavior. This is the actual sexual behavior that one engages in. So somebody, your sexual orientation could be girls, but your sexual behavior is with boys. It can differ. And then SOGI just stands for sexual orientation and gender identity. This will be referred to at some point throughout the PowerPoint. So if you hear SOGI, this is the abbreviation. In this slide, this is a ton of different types of sexual orientations that one can be. So obviously this is the gender, and this, for example, right here, this is gay. So this is a boy and a boy. Right here, boy, boy. This is lesbian. This is girl and girl. This means a girl prefers, her sexual orientation prefers other girls. For gay, a boy prefers other boys. Hetero is what other people you might hear as straight. This is a girl likes a boy, or a boy likes a girl. This is the sexual majority of people. So when I'm speaking of sexual minorities, it is everything but hetero right here. The next slide is called focus. We are going to look at what we are going to be focusing on in this PowerPoint. So our focus in this PowerPoint on sexual orientation will be on sexual minorities, what I touched on in the last slide. So this is every sexual orientation except for heterosexual. I want to throw in that heterosexual relationships do have their own problems that are associated within schools and that affect academics and affect children in schools, but there is just more evidence surrounding sexual minorities, and it is a great problem right now in America. So for my presentation, I will be focusing on sexual minorities. Really quickly, we're going to be looking at an overview of the lesson, just some stuff that we will be touching on. So first, we're going to look into victimization in sexual minorities. We are going to be learning about the current school practices, what is in place as we speak now, the good versus the bad, what's working, what's not, and then solutions, some implementations to create a healthy school climate. So we are going to take a look into victimization in sexual minorities first. There's going to be four topics that we are going to be specifically looking into. That is the forms of victimization, the bullying rates when it comes to victimization, the effects on students when they are victimized, and what schools are lacking when it comes to helping for victimizations. And remember that this is all based on sexual minorities, so students in K through 12 that are a part of everything but the heterosexual sexual orientations. So we are going to be looking at forms first. There are 3 types of forms of bullying. There's physical harassment, verbal harassment, and cyberbullying. The first form of harassment is physical. Physical harassment is harassment that involves physical attacks or threats. So for example, in this picture, you see a boy is punching another boy in the face. His glasses are on the ground. That is physical because there is physical harm being done. So verbal is just word of mouth, and it does not include any physical harm towards anybody. The third type of harassment we'll be looking at is cyberbullying. So cyberbullying is the use of electronic communication to bully a person. So as you can see in the picture this person's on, it looks like an iPad, and they're saying gross, they're saying ew, they're saying ha ha. Bullying over any type of, it can be a computer, it can be an iPhone, it could be an Android, any type of social media or electronic that is used to bully a person is considered cyberbullying. The next topic that we will be talking about is bullying rates in sexual minorities in schools. So it is proven that 1 out of every 5 heterosexual student and 4 out of every 5 homosexual students report getting bullied at school. This is 20% of heterosexual students are report getting bullied, and 80% of homosexual students are getting bullied at school. So obviously the rates for sexual minorities are way greater than heterosexual students. The next topic we will be looking at is the effects of victimization on sexual minorities in K-12 schools. Some of these effects include extreme anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, poor health, and increased absences. All of these effects may lead to lower test scores, bad grades, lower participation levels, and ultimately a negative academic experience. In this photo, to the left is the victimization of LGBT students, and then the outcomes to the right. So to the left, it is for the sexual minorities. Again, 65% of them have heard homophobic remarks frequently or often. 30% of them missed at least one day of school in the past because they felt unsafe or uncomfortable, and 85% were verbally harassed in the past year. So this can lead to worse outcomes such as lower GPA, less likely to plan to go to college, and ultimately lower self-esteem.